This is an Eye on Annapolis bonus podcast.
Today, we're talking with a man who, along with the band he founded way back when, was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 1992. The band was named by Rolling Stone magazine as one of the greatest artists of all time. And Jim McCarty of the Yardbirds is here, all the way from France. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm actually in America now, so I'm not so far away.
I have to say that I am excited to talk to you, and even more excited to see you when you're actually here in Annapolis at Ram's Head on Stage. And you're coming in on April 15th for one show. And I did just look, and there are a few tickets still left. So for those that are looking for an amazing midweek diversion after paying your taxes, go to ramsheadonstage.com and get your tickets right away. And then you also want to go to theyardbirds.com and see everything that has to do with Jim and the Yardbirds. But you were here about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. I understand.
Yes, I remember.
And well, I understand things have changed up. So what can we expect on the 15th? I understand it's not just a long set, an encore or two, and heading on out anymore.
No, it's a bit of an experiment, actually, John. We've never done it before. We start off tonight in Pennsylvania. It's me talking through the history of the band, and we've got back projection and slides to illustrate everything. And then the band play the songs as they come up. And we're playing a couple of different songs as well in the history. And then we're going to rock out at the end. So there's everything there. It's a lot of interest, hopefully, for the audience. And the band are there as well.
You know, I honestly love those things, especially, I mean, okay, Taylor Swift. I could care less about her history and her stories and stuff like that because she's so current, okay? But you guys have been around since the 60s. And, I mean, there are just so many stories that are there because you're such a part of the fabric of the music industry that, these are the fascinating things, the fascinating tidbits that we do want to hear. But, of course, we do want to hear the songs as well.
Yes, so it's a matter of getting that balance between the stories and the music.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you've got six. What do you got? I'm trying to look at my notes here. You've got 6 studio and 12 live albums. Do you have any? Is there anything that the Yardbirds can be doing new? I mean, are you working on any new projects?
Well, we're thinking about it. Yes, we've got some ideas to do. To do a single, funnily enough. We're talking about it at the moment. But we have got the live album called Mind the Gap, which we might put on a record label. That's recorded with this band over the last few years, and that's pretty good.
I just want to say about the Yardbirds, for those that don't know, you can sit there and look at the history at theyardbirds.com or Wikipedia or whatever it is. And I mean, you've had many great musicians pass through the band over the years, and I'm not going to mention them because we're excited about the Yardbirds coming on April 15th. And you guys have been known for really experimental sounds over the years. And was there ever a moment when something really went wrong on stage for you? Or maybe it was in the studio that accidentally was like, wow, that's not bad.
Yeah. Well, normally, those sort of things are accidents. Quite often you play something accidentally, and everyone says, "Oh, that's great. Let's keep it." I don't know about the feedback because the feedback apparently with the Beatles was an accident, wasn't it?
True.
But Jeff Beck seemed to have that already together by the time he played with us, so he had it all worked out. And he had a lot of gizmos and a lot of effects, and he loved all electronic music and a wide variety of music, and it suited us. And I think it was him mainly that contributed to the what people remember of that Yardbird sound.
It's funny when you see the things that come through, I don't want to say accidentally, but it's, unexpectedly. I know I was talking to Ray Parker Jr. one time, and he told me the whole Ghostbusters thing was written like in a half hour, and it was just like, huh?
Yeah.
There was a...
Yeah.
And so was the Joan Osborne song, the What If God Was One of Us? That was somewhat of a little bit of an accidental thing with Eric Bazillion that had written that. But, you've with the Yardbirds, I've played with huge crowds and tiny, tiny rooms. And aside from the Ram's Head, do you have any other favorite venues? Maybe they're big or small that you just really, really enjoy playing?
Well, there's a lot of very nice venues, particularly here on the East Coast, in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. We're playing at a place called the Kate in I think it's Old Saybrook, and I think it's the Catherine Hepburn Theatre, which is a small theatre.
Right.
It's actually already sold. It's already sold out a couple of weeks ago, but it's a lovely venue. Places like that, even the one tonight, the Sellersville one, it's a very old theatre. I think there's a ghost there apparently.
That's a really fun venue. That's a fun venue.
Yeah, we played there many years ago, and we haven't played there for a while. And I'm looking forward to that one.
Do you prefer a smaller room or a larger room?
Yeah, I prefer. I prefer sort of a fairly intimate venue, something like Daryl's place. You know that one?
No.
In Pauling, in New York, Daryl Hall's club. That's quite nice. That's even smaller. I think that's probably 200 max, but that's very intimate.
I do love the intimate shows where you get to know. I mean, certainly you can weave in your stories throughout the years there, but I mean, when you get into a small club and you're literally feet away, it's absolutely it's amazing. And I think really the performers and I think the artists that come in really get into that because you can read the audience. You know, if I'm having a good time at Ram's Head, you can kind of see that. If I'm having a good time at M&T Bank Stadium, you probably don't know that too much.
Yes, I know. Yeah, but Ram's Head is a particular one. I think it's very well run, isn't it? Very nicely done. And of course, Annapolis is a great little village, isn't it? Would you call it a village or a town?
We like to go high class. We call ourselves a city, even though we're just a little tiny city. So, but I would prefer to be called a village, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it has got a villagey atmosphere to it, and there's some lovely old buildings there. It's very pretty.
It really does. Well, I'll tell you, back in the 60s in London, I mean, that must have been a wild time. Do you have any non-music memories? I mean, obviously we know what you guys did with the Yardbirds, but do you have any non-music memories from that era that really sort of makes you laugh, shake your head, or wonder how you're still alive, or...
Yes, I suppose so. Yeah, I had a little apartment, a sort of basement apartment in Fulham, just on the borders with Chelsea. And people used to come round. There used to be lots of people coming round all the time that I didn't know. And, of course, they'd all come round and smoke joints.
Right.
And sometimes there'd be quite famous people like Chris Barber. Have you heard of him? Who's a famous jazz trumpeter in England, and he'd be there. and then these other people would be there, and I found out they were all lords. So you never knew what class of society was going to turn up, and that was the thing about the 60s. All the classes went into one. The lower class and the upper class, they all mixed together.
It's sort of funny. Have you ever played the Philadelphia Folk Festival by chance?
No, I haven't.
I mean, it's like a 4-day festival, and it's very similar to that. I used to work with a volunteer fire department, and we used to do like a pancake breakfast. But you would find all sorts of people there. And I mean, they're sitting there just like you said. They're smoking the joints. They're having a good time. They're listening to the music. And you're talking to one guy. And he says, "Oh yeah, I'm the district attorney for Philadelphia." And another guy is just a construction worker. And I mean, it was just a great mix up of people. And music really does that, though. I mean, it erases any kind of boundaries.
I know.
I
know it's wonderful, isn't it?
I mean, you're not gay, you're not straight, you're not black, you're not white, you're not Republican, Democrat, you're not you're nothing. You're all here experiencing the same thing. And
I know it's so powerful.
Damn, we need more of it. We need more of it. That's for sure. Is there a project? I mean, and you've got such a deep catalog there, but a song, a project that never really got the recognition that you felt it deserved, or maybe something the opposite way, something that got too much that you didn't think deserved it.
Well, we did the Birdland album. You know about that one? It came out in 2003, and we had a lot of guest people, mainly guitar players like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and Slash and Brian May, and we were doing old versions of our hits, and we did some new songs as well. And we were a little bit disappointed, really, because I thought it was a pretty good album, and we were expecting it to sell a lot more, but it was quite a minor seller, considering what we put into it. We put a lot of work into it, and I consider it a good album.
Fair. And I'll tell you, right now, if you were able to form some sort of a new supergroup, whether maybe they're living or gone, do you have any idea who you'd put into a supergroup?
Well, I suppose Jimi Hendrix would have to be there, wouldn't he?
Without a doubt.
And, but I mean, I suppose really there'd be the Jimi Hendrix and John Bonham and John Paul Jones, for a start. But
wow,
you could do lots of supergroups, with different lineups, I'm sure.
Who was the most famous, or not most famous, the most memorable for you band or group that you performed with?
The most memorable band. Well, we did play with the Beatles. We played with them, and Rolling Stones. We played with the Kinks. We did tours with all those bands. And we had fun with all of them. They were all great. They were all great at the time. Sort of modern bands, I can't think of so many as those classic bands.
Well, I'll tell you, when you're not behind your drum kit right now, what brings you? What are you doing for fun? I mean, you're living in Paris, or not in Paris, in France.
Yeah, I live in the south of France. So when I'm not playing, I'm probably in the countryside, in the hills or something, having a walk or riding a bike or playing tennis or something. I like the open air, and I like the sunshine and the sea, of course. So I have a pretty good life down there.
It doesned sound like Jim McCarty's got a bad life. Southern France, walking the fields,
yes,
biking. I'm
very lucky.
We should all be so lucky. That is for sure. I'll tell you, as we wrap up, I want to remind folks that the Yardbirds are coming April 15th. That's a Tuesday night, so it is a midweek distraction for one show at Ram's Head on Stage at 8 p.m. You can get tickets at ramsheadonstage.com. You can find out everything you need to find out about Jim McCarty and the Yardbirds at theyardbirds.com. And one final question for you before we let you go back up to the Sellersville Theater tonight. But with 6 decades under your belt, when you step on that stage, is there a song from your catalog that just never gets old for you? That you just, this is why I'm here?
Yes. Yes, Shapes of Things. Shapes of Things is always a great, it always sounds fresh to me. I was very pleased with it, and it's very nice to think we clubbed together and we wrote it together and recorded it at a great time, and everyone plays very well. I think it's a wonderful song.
Jim, I will let you go because I know that you probably got to get up there, get a sound check and everything else, and we're looking forward to seeing you here in just about 10 days, a little more than 10 days. But Jim McCarty from the Yardbirds, thank you so much for taking the time out of your morning to talk with us, and can't wait to see you on that stage on the 15th here in Annapolis, man. Have a safe trip.
Yeah, thank you, John. My pleasure.
Within my lonely frame, my eyes just hurt my brain, but will it seem the same? Come tomorrow, will I be older? Come tomorrow.
This has been a bonus podcast from Eye on Annapolis. Please visit us at eyeonannapolis.net. Follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. And if you haven't subscribed to the Daily News Brief podcast, go for it. And all of your local news will be delivered to your phone, tablet, or smart device by 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday.